My name is Sara Czworniak, and I am one of the co-founders of Project InMotion.
I'm Giana Quinterno, and I'm the other co-founder of Project InMotion.
Yeah, so Project InMotion founded in 2021. We're about to hit our anniversary tomorrow, actually. And we are mental health clinicians. So we combine sports and movement with therapeutic interventions to support the social emotional development of young people.
Sara and I are both licensed clinical social workers, and the work that we do is really implemental to supporting the young people in our community, both in an individual capacity and in a group capacity. And the idea behind the entire project is that everybody that's working with us is rooted in movement-based and creative arts-based approaches to supporting our young people. And the vision for us as we grow is to be able to have a cohesive, holistic center where people from the community and their families can be supported throughout mental health and or just like a social capacity.
So InMotion, Project InMotion really started back in 2015. Giana and I actually met on the first day of grad school at NYU. Shout out NYU. And we were in the same cohort. So on the first day of school, when they were going around kind of sharing, each individual had to share about themselves. And, Giana and I had a similar interest in our backgrounds of dance and movement. And so actually at the first day we had lunch together and we started talking about, what do you want to do with social work? What's your dreams? What's your aspirations? And oddly enough, we both found that we wanted to use movement in like a healing space. And we both had different ideas of how to do that. I wanted to do that in the hospital setting where Giana doing it.
I think I always had a vision for having it be with young people and be with in a school setting. I think when I first envisioned being a clinician and also doing like movement and body-based work, I had imagined it would be in the school. And I had spent the beginning part of my career before Project InMotion was born as a school-based counselor. Saw a lot there where young people were turning to me in various capacities outside of a counseling role. And so the vision for it had always remained like with young people in varying ages. And I know Sara and I have been friends since 2015, so nearly, what are we in 2020? 10 years at this point. And, that first day was really the spark of Project InMotion, even though it didn't start until nearly 5 years after that.
Yeah. And after we met, we actually kind of went different paths. So I went into hospital social work and Giana went into schools. And then I think about 5 years, we kind of diverged in paths, but always still came back to this idea. And then probably 2019, 2020, once we passed our clinical license, we kind of came back together and we're like, do we want to do this? And we kind of like, let's go for it. And that's kind of where it went full circle from there.
Washington Heights was the area in which we wanted to found a business for a variety of reasons. I think the first one comes from just a place of like where we both lived in grad school or shortly after. I moved to Washington Heights when I first came to New York and had friends who lived in the area, friends who lived in the Bronx, and they had introduced me to Washington Heights. And I personally was captivated by the community, the Latin culture that was here, and the sense of like family orientedness that was present in the community that I think is not present as profoundly in other areas. And so after living in the Heights for so long, going to grad school, I always remained in Washington Heights and just found myself connected to the culture. As an Italian American, I think my roots are very well connected to being to Latin culture. And so I find a lot of similarities and find a sense of homeliness here in Washington Heights. And then for myself, as I got into the career and going into the profession, there was just such a gap for services in the Heights. And Sara can speak on that from a different perspective. Sara can speak on that from her perspective.
The advice that I would give is to not give up. It's not easy. Giana and I laugh because there's some days where everything just feels so incredibly hard. And I'm thankful that I have a business partner where we can kind of bounce ideas and when days are hard, motivate each other. And so first and foremost, I'd say don't give up. If you have a dream and a vision, to keep at it, keep asking those questions, keep asking for help. This community has been so great with giving us advice, and we've turned to a lot of people here and they've taken us under their wings and giving us the knowledge that they have that we didn't have. And so just definitely, tapping into the networks that you have, and to keep striving every single day for your vision to come. Good one.
I think everybody wants us to measure success in a quantitative metric, like numbers or how much money we're making or how many clients we see, which matters. Obviously, we have to survive and be business owners and pay rent and survive. But I think for us, what's really important, especially as we grow, is the feeling that our families have when they come to our center, that even now at a small capacity and in the future when we build our space into a larger capacity, there's always going to be this sense of like community and connectedness, that the people who are coming in know who we are. I think for us, knowing that young people are coming into our services and they want to come back, we hear from families that have left the center or people at school that are like, oh, this is the best part of their week. This is the place where they have a friend. That is, I think, more meaningful to us, hearing those stories about our families and the ways in which the supports are helping them feel connected is more important than any money amount or quantitative amount, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. I think hearing those moments where a child says like, it's Tuesday, this is like Project InMotion Day, and like that's what they look forward to. And we've had clients too where say like, this is where I feel safe, or like, this is where I have friends. And so I think for us, hearing those moments makes the hard days worth it. And it really makes it feel like, you know, what we're doing matters and that people appreciate it. So the Chamber's been extremely helpful as we are still new and growing, and the Chamber has access to so many resources and people. And to be honest, you know, so far everyone I've met in the Chamber, the minute I have a question, they are more than happy to give me the knowledge that they have. You know, they've been in business for many years, a lot of these entrepreneurs. And so they're very excited and willing to pass on that knowledge. And I think that's honestly the best part, and it's priceless to be able to have that kind of community and feeling with the Chamber.
I would say for any business member in the community to join the Washington Heights Chamber of Commerce, because it's honestly very connected, very well family oriented. You're not just a business owner in a larger chamber or larger organization. You really matter here at the Chamber of Commerce in Washington Heights, and the board and other members want to get to know you. And so if you're trying to establish yourself or you're trying to just build your own village, because this work is hard, the Washington Heights Chamber of Commerce can do that. So I invite anybody who's looking for their village to be a little bit bigger, or looking to other people to connect with and speak with, to join the Chamber of Commerce.